السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم في برنامج نيوكاسل مع وليد. في برنامج اليوم الأربعاء الخاص الوليد and Dave from Newcastle. Welcome lads and lasses to Newcastle with الوليد with our weekly show with the Sheikh Dave. Welcome Dave.
Welcome Alwaleed. Just going to say welcome all the lads and lasses.
All right.
Welcome to the show.
We have plenty of things to talk about tonight. I know there is a game, Burnley and Everton, 1-1 now, almost first half will finish. And of course, there is a Chelsea and Real. But for us, priority for the tune. So before we start, just we want to talk about the memorial, Dave, which you went with your family in person. And I attend by Zoom for celebration. Our friend, rest in peace, Christopher. So, as our representative from the tune, and you went to London, what you can share with us, Dave?
It was a very emotional meeting. I met with his mom and his dad. If you can just look to your left, on that photograph, that's his dad and that's his brother.
Yeah, and you can tell he looked like Chris.
Yes, if both of them did. Chris looks more like his brother. He looked really. It could have been twins. You know what I mean? They looked really similar. And yeah, it was an emotional experience. His mum gave us a big hug, and she said, thank you for what you did. And it was just so emotional that get this just to speak to his dad. His dad's called George. And I told him that George is what we are known in Newcastle, we're Geordies. We're George's men. So that's what Geordies are all about. But the service was really good. It was a short service, in which there was 3 or 4 people who shared memories at the altar and just talked about what Chris was about when he was at college. The college is a very beautiful college. I didn't even know it was even there. A very beautiful college, and the dean was there, and it's just getting some of the stories about when Chris met the Queen, and when everybody was told they had to get dressed up, and Chris turned up in his cycling gear. And just funny enough that the Queen actually shook his hand and made jokes with him. They shared memories when he was escorting one of the ladies, a proper lady, I can't remember what her name was. And Chris got into her sending her letters, and it was ended up spraying his letters with cologne and stuff like that. And do you think she'll respond? Do you think she'll respond? Now this lady was well in her 60s, 70s, quite old, and there's a picture that was actually shared by everybody with Christopher at that very meeting, and he's got his legs crossed, and you can see he's got no socks on. Just typical Christopher. He's got to put his socks on. But it was just light-hearted. It was just all stories about Chris, and it was just lovely to share that moment with his family, and all his friends mainly from the college where he was at. But the guy who was one of the maintenance engineers, who Chris was very good friends with at his apartment, and possibly the guy who got into Chris's apartment when they found him, he was a Tottenham supporter, and he was like saying, "Oh, I'm happy for you not to beat us tomorrow. I'm happy for you to beat us tomorrow, just for Christopher's sake, you know." And this bloke was really canny, you know, and he had stories where Chris had his mum was coming over, and Chris had said to this maintenance guy, he says, "I need to hide these. Can I hide them?" And the bloke says, "Aye." He says, "Right, okay." Thinking that he was going to hide 3 or 4 sets of skis, because Chris was mad on skiing. Apparently, Chris says, "No, I've got 30 sets of skis. If my mum finds out I've got 36 sets of skis, she'll kill us."
Why? Is it because it's dangerous?
Because they're expensive, you know what I mean, and all this sort of stuff. And of course, they told the story of when he went to France and left his luggage lying around, and they had to call the police because they thought it was a terrorist bomb. Because he was telling all sorts of stories, all light-hearted stories, and later on we got to share some of those stories. And I think I actually copied you. I mean, at that time, I think I had the phone in
yes.
when I was speaking.
Yes, I attend the first part or the Zoom part. After that, thank you for let me in. So I listen to the people who talk, which they talk nice, and they share also some stories, and they are they really know Chris as same as we know. It's especially the tune supporting part. But what is the second half, which it wasn't in the Zoom? What is this about?
It was just family.
The one you put me on the phone with the family and friends.
Yeah, it was just private time with the family. It was private time. They wanted to share more stories, and it was a case of having some traditional Greek food as well. So we were having moussaka and stuff like that. It was really, really, really nice. It was
moussaka. Moussaka, is it? There is eggplant inside.
Eggplant, yeah.
Yeah, this is Mediterranean food. It's also Arabic.
Yes.
So it's close to the Greek.
Yeah.
Moussaka.
Moussaka.
We call it moussaka, yeah.
So he was. So that was just like it was just more stories and more things about Chris, and then actually toasting his life, just raising a glass to his life, you know, raising a drink in celebration, and obviously, you know, just consoling his parents, and I think it was good for his parents. They felt really emotional that, you know, that there were so many people who knew Chris and were happy to share them stories. So it was a really good. It was a good. Ooh, I don't want Everton to win. So yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a good experience. Just sorry that it was in such sad circumstances. You know, just I wish he was still, even today. I wish he was still here. We could have a laugh and joke on. But you know, I did say that. I said that he got to see the takeover, but he didn't get to see we win the league. But he will be watching. He will be watching us from up on high. I'm sure he will be. But yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I was glad that I have an opportunity to attend as soon as I couldn't travel to England as well. And rest in peace, our friend. Rest his soul. Right, mate. So as we see here, Tom give us the latest. Tom, I just want to tell you that already I have the screen updated. It's I have a pin life score, which is 2-1. And I can challenge Dave. I tell you, Dave, I can't see Everton going down. I can't. They have better player, even if they play without coach. They can't survive.
Yeah, but I think that was evident on the other day. I think if Watford had got a result, then it might have made some difference. But I think you're right. I'd like to see Everton go down. Oh, what are you drinking? What are you drinking?
No, this is
Coca-Cola?
No. This is Vimto.
Vimto. Ah, yeah.
Vimto. You know Vimto?
We know Vimto.
You know,
yeah, Vimto.
I think it's England, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, very English. Very, very, very English.
But I didn't saw it in Newcastle.
Oh, you didn't see it in Newcastle? Oh, right.
I didn't see Brown Ale, huh?
Brown ale, no, just you can't have too much brown ale, and gotta have a Vimto in between.
So you have Vimto in Newcastle?
Yeah, but is that still Vimto, or is it fizzy Vimto? Is it
Fizzy?
carbonated?
No,
We have still Vimto.
No, it's not still Vimto.
Still Vimto. We also have carbonated Vimto. We have Vimto fizzy. Bubbles.
Fizzy. Oh,
Yeah,
we didn't have that.
We have that over here.
Okay, so I will try it next time. Okay, mate. So, speaking of Everton, we have the schedule here.
Yeah, I do want Everton to go down. I do want them to go down.
Is it right? Everton is the only team didn't went down.
Yeah.
By history.
Yeah.
Wow, that's something. So Liverpool
never been relegated.
So Liverpool been relegated.
Never. So that's why
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool were relegated. Liverpool weren't that good back in the 50s and the 60s. It was only late in the 60s that Liverpool became good. That's why Evertonians hate Liverpool, because Everton were always the number one team in Merseyside, but Liverpool got good. Like
I have to ask this, Dave. Lately, I watching the last series of Peaky Blinders. I still last episode I didn't watch it yet. So in the show, the focus on the match fixing with the referees, is that still going in England? Because you sent me something which is interested. You can talk about it. I think you read it by Jordan Cronin from Newcastle World. That Newcastle, if the decision in VAR wasn't applied, I think Newcastle should be 10th. So tell us, is there game fixing now going on in England in different ways?
No, you know what? It always makes you think that way, doesn't it? When we're so hard done by, because they're not just talking about Newcastle being one or two places better off. They're talking about Newcastle being 5 places better off. So if VAR hadn't got in the way of our games, we could be higher up the league. We could be sitting in 10th.
Yeah, and I think Newcastle most team get damaged by VAR.
Yeah, we are.
And if you notice, I noticed the last 3 same teams. So that's mean VAR or no VAR, they are the same. They will not get benefit of anything.
You think the Chelsea game was,
yes,
prime. We got beat off Chelsea 1-0, but we should have had a penalty, and their player should have been sent off. So it makes a big difference. VAR.
Dave, for this is the schedule now, not because VAR. This is the real schedule. So if Everton win, they will be 27, and Burnley will be still 23.
Yeah.
No, that was
21.
1-0. No, 21. That was when they scored Burnley first. I got the screenshot. Yeah. So now totally different.
Yeah, and if Everton win, they'll be 20. If Everton win, they'll be 28, and Burnley will be 21.
Yeah, so still early to decide
if that result stays the way it is, if that stays the way it is, then I think it's all over for Burnley.
So
That's
in
all I
this
got to
game,
watch it.
what do you call the game? Chair game? What do you call it?
Musical chairs.
Musical chairs. So in this musical chairs, Dave, who you think now? Can you tell now who gonna be relegated?
Yeah.
For me, Norwich, Watford, Burnley.
Yeah. I'd like Everton to get relegated. I really would like Everton to get relegated. But I think if the result stays the way it is tonight, if Everton do win tonight, and the fact that Burnley have missed the chance of that extra game, then Burnley they're going down. It'll be Burnley, Watford, Norwich.
What about Brentford? I think they are, and they can get away as us. But what about Leeds?
The Leeds can get away as well. Leeds honestly, I think, with Everton, if they're going to 28 points, Leeds would be on. They'll have played fair enough. Leeds will have played a game more, but I can't see how. I certainly can't. Wait, Norwich will be relegated. They've 8 games left. So what?
Yeah, and the gap is going far now. They can't catch it. I think the people.
No, they can't. Norwich and Watford can't catch now. The only way they could do is if Everton lost tonight. If Everton lost tonight and Burnley win, then that would put Burnley on 24 and put Everton on 25 as it is now, and that would be quite a difficult thing. I think Everton might panic then, but because that result's now different, 2-1 the other way, I think Everton probably could.
I will tell you something weird. Burnley score at minute 12 by Collins. Then they got 2 penalties, Everton, all scored by Richarlison. 2 penalties. 2 penalties.
Yeah. More VAR decisions, I presume.
So that's mean Burnley are frustrated.
Yeah.
So it shows that they can't handle. They can't do any. And beating Tottenham, they beat Tottenham for me. It was very weird. But maybe after the Tottenham win over Manchester City, maybe they come something maybe tired or exhausted or disrespect or anything. So I'm sorry, we have to talk about our game with Tottenham. Dave, what happened?
The half-time break came too quickly. I think if we'd gone in 1-0 up at half-time, I think it would be a completely different result. But because they got the equaliser just before half-time, it means they were more up for the fight. And I just think we then, when the second goal went in, I think we then tried to chase it too much. We tried to chase the game too much, and we got caught twice more. And at that point, I think we just knew it wasn't going to be alright. It just wasn't. It wasn't what we were doing. Just wasn't working.
Eddie Howe play with the same winning formation. He have the best games, so he back to it. So maybe exception Manquillo. So what do you think of this lineup? Is it the best we have, Dave?
No, I think I still think that Joe Willock should be on the
he's injured.
Should be on the bench,
no, as I heard.
Bruno should have been playing. He's been playing well for Brazil. He should have been on the pitch. I can't understand why he wasn't. And I think it might be different on Friday. I think it could be a different setup on Friday. I can't say we're going with the same team.
Yes. Joe Willock injured. Have knee injury as media.
What's that?
Joe Willock have a knee injury per media.
He's got a knee injury.
I read it some topics, but I didn't go into details.
No, I don't have any detail on what he's got, but
So tell us tell us the lineup should be in Wolverhampton game.
Well, the Wolverhampton game should, the lineup should, it should just be that one change. It should be Bruno instead of Joe Willock.
Mm-hmm.
Should be
And
Bruno. Bruno's got to start against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
With whom in the midfield?
Shelby
and Willock. Joelinton.
Joelinton, yeah.
Joelinton wasn't that good in Tottenham game.
No, but he's been out for a couple of games, hasn't he? He's been out for a couple of games. He'd come back, and he's just got to get his head back. He's just got to pick his head back up. Let's just hope it was a blip, because it wasn't like him to be playing as poorly as what he did. And I think the fact is that Tottenham had a way to play him. Tottenham were a different. They had a way to play him, and we didn't play to our strengths as best we could have done. And I think, but to keep persisting with Bruno on the bench isn't going to work for us. We need Bruno on the pitch. We need somebody who's going to create something. And Maxi, when Maxi's on the pitch, everybody knows that's where the ball's going to go. So all they're doing is just marking Maxi out the game. Now, if you had Bruno and Maxi on the pitch, then you're not going to know which one's going to pick the ball up and which one's going to do the running.
Exactly.
So to me, to have Bruno and Maxi on the pitch is the best way forward, because the defense won't know which way to go. They won't know who we're going to be playing the ball to.
You are absolutely right, Dave. But when I see Bruno and Maxi together, you feel kind of competition. You feel like you see something like everyone want to create the game or the attacking, different thinking and moving the ball. I know this is need time, but this is what you notice.
Yeah, but that's what they've got to get. They haven't played together so far, so that's what they've got to get used to. They've got to get used to playing with each other, and one player's got to play one side, one player's got to play the other side. They can't have them both. What do you think? Can't have them both playing in a free role, because they'll just get in each other's way.
What do you think if they should be as a striker, Saint-Maximin? Maybe this is the best solution temporarily, so he will be not be even if he marked. If Chris Wood and Saint-Maximin both strikers, I think this is going to helpful. This is for me only. Chris Wood and Saint-Maximin as strikers. Fraser on the right, Bruno, Joelinton, Shelby, and who can put in the left? What do you think of this formation? 4-4-2.
I don't know whether Maxi can play alongside. I don't know whether Maxi would be a good enough foil for Chris Wood, unless you're talking about taking Chris Wood out completely and just playing Maxi up front.
No, two strikers. I think this is the solution.
Two strikers, but
maybe Almiron. Almiron left.
You've then got Shelby
Fraser right,
Bruno in midfield. You've got Bruno and Shelby in midfield, and then you've got Fraser. But would you play Fraser down the right, or would you play Fraser down the left? Because to me, what I would do is, if that's the case, if you're playing Maxi up front, then you play Maxi to come in from the left. So he's coming in on his right foot all the time, because that's what he normally does. So play him up front, but wider left. And then you've got Joelinton, you've got Shelby and Bruno in the middle. So it then becoming a 3-5-2, aren't you? You've got
4-4-2. So you put Maximin and Bruno, Maximin and Chris Wood, for example, in up front.
Yeah, up front.
And you have Shelby and Bruno, and you can have like one wing and one midfielder. You can choose two between Almiron, Fraser, Longstaff, for example, yeah.
But
And
got
Saint Maximin can sometimes get to the left or movable.
You're taking Joe Linton. You're taking Joe Linton out of the game then.
Yes, I would. Yeah.
Oh, wait. I've got my wife bothering me at the moment.
It's okay if you need a break. You can. Yeah, if you have something to do, you can put off camera and off mic.
Oh, I've got my granddaughter here now as well. Come on this way.
And dog.
Yeah. Oh, the dog. Hi. Is he supporting Newcastle or Sunderland?
She's Newcastle, isn't she? She's a Newcastle supporter.
Yeah.
Our Ruby. Our Ruby.
I remember when I was in the bus in Brighton, and Holly was laughing, and I think she showed me other coach going to Brighton game, and they have a dog with them. I said, okay, what's so funny? She said, who taking a dog to a game at the bus?
Yeah,
so that's funny.
So I've got my granddaughter here, and then she's just about to go. She's just about to go in the bath. It's bath time. Then bedtime.
School tomorrow?
Oh yes, school tomorrow.
Yeah. So how's Ramadan in Newcastle?
What's that?
No, I'm asking Tida. Is it she?
Caddy.
Tida. Caddy. Have you heard about Ramadan? No?
What? Ramadan?
Yeah.
Yes, Caddy's dad was Muslim, so Caddy is Muslim. Yeah, so Caddy is not part Muslim, but she's she hasn't made her mind up yet what she wants to be.
I have my father's DNA in me, so I'm part Muslim.
So, Caddy, what do you think of Newcastle game against Tottenham? Or you didn't watch it?
We got beat.
That's boring.
Oh, that's boring.
Caddy's wanting to play football. She's trying to play football, and she wants to play for Newcastle girls team.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. And we are gonna be proud of you if you did.
You see, yeah. She says he's going to be proud of you if you play for Newcastle. Right, yo.
So which position?
What position?
Goalkeeper, striker, defender, midfielder.
Either goal, attack, or defend.
Attack. So like Chris Wood.
We need defenders. Yeah, we need more defenders. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you get number 9 then.
Yeah, you get number 9. Right, yo. Say good night, Alwaleed, because I need to finish the show.
Can I take my dog?
You want to take your dog? Right, you can take your dog.
This is me.
All right, take care.
Dog out.
Say bye.
Bye.
That's nice. Dave, we have conflict between the middle field is still a headache for Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
He didn't know who to choose. I can't say he can't let Shelby go. Shelby is maybe number 1 for him in the midfield. Yeah. Now I think he have to put Bruno. I think now with this difficult situation, he will be blamed if he didn't Bruno. So that's 2. So who's the 3rd? Joe Linton, I think.
It's got to be Joe Linton. Joe Linton hasn't done anything really to be consistently bad. He's been consistently good since Eddie Howe came.
I forget. I thought I did a mistake yesterday in the George's here with Steve. I said Newcastle have no real defense midfielder, but I forget about Sean Staff. Is he center midfielder or defense midfielder?
Who's Sean Longstaff?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, so why he is not on? And I think he did great last year.
Because he's not good enough for the He's not good enough for the Premier League to be there. He's not good enough for the Premier League to be there.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, that seeing Matty the other week, that he's more of the attacking midfielder, where his brother was the defensive midfielder. So it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to see, Matty playing there, being involved in an attacking centre midfielder. But we haven't had a real defensive midfielder for some years now. And the last one I remember,
and Shelby, he's fine, but he's not defensive midfielder either.
No, he's not. He was never a defensive midfielder. Shelby was always the attacking midfielder.
Yes. So I think this is the center of the problems.
But the thing is, we brought in Hayden. Hayden was meant to be a defensive midfielder. He kept getting,
and physically he's not strong.
No, he wasn't never strong enough. So I think Hayden could be one of those players who maybe let go come the summer.
Yeah, so that's what we need, really, defense midfielder. So I hope Eddie Howe will fix this and choose the best three. But I'm sure, I think, there is no ideal formation or lineup. He really must to take some. He must agree to things he's not happy with.
Yeah. Because
he doesn't have a complete team.
Yeah.
So he needs to do some changes, really, even if against his will.
Well, there was a poll in the Newcastle Chronicle recently, and they were highlighting 11 players that Newcastle should let go. Amongst those 11 players were Jamal Lascelles, Jacob Murphy, also Matt Ritchie, Isaac Hayden. There was a few players in there who were shocking, and and Almiron should go as well.
But Dave, why they are talking about this now? This is will lower the spirit.
They're talking about this now is because after last night's display by Darwin Núñez, it looks like he wants to transfer to the Premier League. Now, if that's the case, then why we're talking about going after him. They're saying that we're looking to spend £183 million come the summer. That's what they're talking about tonight. That Newcastle's plans would cost them about £183 million. So that blows out the water what we discussed last week, where we only had £90 million to spend. You're talking double that already by some of the players who are interested in, and even suggesting perhaps Maxi could be allowed to go because Maxi isn't doing the job anymore. Well, how would you feel about that? Would you let Maxi go?
Actually, no. I will not let him go, but I will put him in a place fit the situation. I can play with Maxi. He can play in one position. He can do something there. Eddie Howe. He can put him on the left winger, and at the same time a striker. He can, this will be very good for him, because if he have spaces, he cannot be a winger. If he marked very well, he can be a striker. This will confuse the teams in the same game. So you can give him this side, and of course, he will have a backup, either the left back target to go forward, push a little bit. This is tactics. You can. He's a good element. You really can get benefit, because I can see Saint Maximin. He will be great in the winger if the team, but as you said, every team he see Maximin on the left, they know they will pass him the ball and he be marked by many players. So when that happens, he must go same time, same moment to striker, because even if he marked in striker, he will get the load off of the other striker and the other players. So
but the problem then is who is then providing the balls into the striker.
Yes, okay, Bruno, maybe one player more.
Yeah.
We will have in the market in the summer.
Yeah.
So no need to be any maximum.
No.
Every time, yeah. So I think Maximin, he's a great player, and I think he's ready. He can be improved. So I wish if he can have, of course, another chance to stay. And he يعني, before and Steve Bruce he was mostly the only solution. Now we have more solutions, so this is the conflict. But I think he's really good addition, great addition. But and you need to do some adjustment. Tom asked us a lot of a question. Tom, we are not ignoring it, but we will come to it at the end of the show. We'll answer it all with Dave. Let's talk, Dave, about a little bit about okay, maybe we'll put this later. We're gonna talk about Sam Finister or some singer party on Newcastle yesterday or today.
Sam Fender, yeah.
Sam Fender, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it later because I have some material here. Let's talk about first. This is the last result of next game against Wolverhampton, and I think this game, lucky us, we have 3 games all home now with Leicester at home, Wolves at home, Crystal Palace at home, and Norwich in Norwich. So I believe those 4 games, I'm sure. Hopefully, we're gonna be safe from being relegated. Hopefully, in first 2 games, and maybe, if we aren't lucky, Crystal Palace and Norwich. So let's talk about Wolverhampton, our next game. Wolverhampton, and as you can see, from 9 to 20, and these the close points, not that very far. Between 15 and 9, only 6 points to game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easily. We can be in 9th position in 2-3 weeks. Who knows? Why not? So
we've got 3 very hard games coming up.
But Wolverhampton, you can't see here because he's in 8th position with 47 points.
And that's it. But Wolverhampton are playing very well at the moment.
Yeah, but how they been beaten before the international break, beat by Leeds? Home.
Yeah, I know, but they're still playing very well. They're a very good team. Let's not underestimate them too much. I think we can beat them, but you can see from the result there, the last result they had there against Aston Villa. So. Yeah, I think it could be a hard game. I think the crowd and the late night game on a Friday night might actually do us some good. So I think we could probably beat Wolves. I'm not going to predict anything, but I think Wolves, and then you've got Leicester City, who Leicester's been playing well as well. They've been playing very good. One of our bogey teams, and then we've got Crystal Palace, very unknown. They beat Arsenal 3-0 very easily at the weekend. And I was just thinking, we thought these were 3 quite easy home games, and they're actually going to be 3 There could be 3 very hard home games.
Yeah, it's different Crystal Palace.
Yeah, you're right. And then we've got, then we think what sort of running we've got after that. We've got Liverpool, and we've got Manchester City, Arsenal, Burnley.
So it's tough.
Tough, yeah. And Burnley being the last game of the season, like you say, I just hope it's all sorted out before then. I mean, has there been a change in the score tonight?
It's 2-2 now.
2-2, right?
Rodriguez just scored.
Right. So yeah. We've got 3 hard home games, and then we've probably got 3 very hard away games as well.
Yeah. Leicester hard, Wolverhampton hard, Crystal hard.
Yeah.
So Norwich. So what I'm hoping to beat Norwich, and we beat one of the Leicester, Wolverhampton, Crystal, and we are off relegated.
Yeah, and I think we're.
It's 6
honestly,
points. 6 points. If we can six.
Funny, but I think we're safe.
We are safe, but no. But Dave, we have to win at least one game.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if we get 6 points, no matter of other results, nobody will catch us.
No, you're right. I think I totally agree with you.
Too, but which games? You can see. Okay. Let me ask you this. Without talking, let's talk about home games. First home games: Leicester, Wolverhampton, Crystal Palace. Which one is more able to win? You think? Expect Leicester. Now. Let's talk. Okay, Wolverhampton.
Leicester's probably more winnable. They'll probably be more nailed on winnable game.
Really?
Yeah. I think the way Wolves are playing at the moment, and they're trying to get into Europe, I think they're going to come at us with all guns blazing. So Wolves could be a hard game. If we beat Wolves, then we'll beat Leicester. So if we beat Wolves, we'll beat Leicester.
So are you saying we get beat from Wolves and Crystal and we win over Leicester?
I never say we're going to get beat, Alwaleed.
I'm just spicing up.
But I think Wolves will probably be the hardest game of the three. Of the 3 games we've got at home, I think Wolves will be the hardest game. And I think Leicester will be the easier game.
For me, I think we will beat Crystal.
You'll beat Crystal Palace, yeah. I think you might be
right. And maybe draw.
They're unknown, though, Alwaleed. They've got Zaha and Eze. They've got some good players in their team, and it's just it could come down to who's got the most skillful players, whether it's us with Maxi and Bruno or Crystal Palace with Zaha and Eze.
So it's a start with us, it's depend now on Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe, he must play easy game. No need for more. I know we're not gonna be funny here, but I know we said Steve Bruce have no tactics, but maybe Eddie Howe have extra tactics. So we need something in the middle.
Too many tactics, yeah.
No, to me. High quality tactics, which he have no player for.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I think, but he knows what he can get out of his players. And I think
I'm very excited for the game, and I expect really a different game. This is the lineup of Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like Trincao. Number 11, he's a great player. Trincao or Trincao? Yeah, Trincao.
I like
Cody as well.
I like Podence. He's a good player.
But
the man who's doing the goal scoring, Neves, and just you got to keep an eye on them too. You got to keep on him and Neves and
So they play 3-4-2-1. We used to play this with Steve Bruce.
Yeah. I think that Neves is Jimenez and Neves are the ones you got to keep an eye out of. But let's hope. Let's hope that the Palace game isn't an important game, because we'll beat Wolves, we'll beat Leicester, and then Palace when it can. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's 6 points, and maybe we're gonna talk about this next week, next time, Dave, because it's gonna be more clear, of course.
Yeah.
I think
next week, after this weekend's games, I think it will be a lot more clearer. It'd be interesting to see who Everton and Burnley and Leeds are playing this weekend. I don't know who they're playing this weekend. It would be interesting to see who they've got, to see what whether their games are going to be hard or not. Because that could also count big, not just us winning our home games, but teams like say the teams like Leeds, Everton, Burnley. What games have they got coming up? Who are they playing in the next few weeks? Are they going to struggle because of them games? And it might be that we might not win a game, but those other three, Leeds, Everton, and Burnley, might not win a game either. You know, and that would sort it out as well. So I'm not sure who. I don't know if I can see who the quick check to see who the.
It's really hard games, and we are very excited for it, of course. And we will wish the team and Eddie Howe a strong comeback, or what you say it, backlash. We want to see the backlash of the team.
Backlash, yeah.
Backlash.
We call it bounce back ability.
Yes.
Bounce back ability.
Yeah. Hopefully, after these three weird defeat. Okay, we'll check the game for us next
on Saturday. On Saturday, Everton have to play Man United.
Oh.
So, and that's at Everton. That's at Everton.
Mm-hmm.
Watford play Leeds.
Okay.
Leicester play Crystal Palace. Norwich play Burnley.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, so you can see some teams are going to be beating each other.
That's why musical chairs.
Exactly.
My theme today, because this is what's going to happen.
Yeah, and the week after that, on the 16th of April, you've got Man United playing Norwich. You've got Watford play Brentford. You've got West Ham play Burnley. And you've got Everton play Leicester City.
So it's not just us, we have difficult games.
No. And then on the 21st of April, on the Wednesday night, Burnley have to play Southampton. Watford play Man City. We play Norwich, of course. And Burnley play Wolves. So these games are coming up that we haven't just got hard games, or the other teams have got hard games, and in some cases they're playing each other.
Yeah, and I believe we are much more prepared.
And on the 24th of April, Liverpool play Everton. So Everton's got some hard games coming up.
Yeah, and I think we are prepared, regardless the beats or the last games, we can really stand up on our feet very quickly.
And another thing, that one of the other last games, Burnley, 30th of April, Burnley play Watford. You know, so there's a few battles going on with the bottom three. So
yeah, that's between them.
They're going to beat each other.
Yeah,
and they're going to do us some favors by doing that. You know what I mean?
Or by draw. They will do us a favor if they draw as well, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Back to last part of our show, the question, and thank you, Tom, for watching us today. Okay, now it's 2-2. Do you think Maximan will leave in the summer? Here today that Willick is ruled out of Wolves game.
Well, that would definitely, if Tom's right there and what you're saying, then I think that would mean that Bruno's got to start. Bruno has to start.
Yes, and elsewhere he will get the blame. Why didn't play Bruno?
Yeah.
Saudi. We have Saudi group WhatsApp. We always chatting and talking, and sometimes I read they saying they felt Bruno wasn't Eddie Howe choice, and he's not preferred by Eddie Howe. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah. But that's what Eddie Howe's got to live with. Eddie Howe's the coach. No, honestly, this is why you bring in the director of football. The director of football chooses the players, and it's up to the coach to get the best out of those players.
Yeah, but he wasn't agreeing on Bruno, or he just accepted because we were in danger.
I think there's a bit of both of that really. But I think Eddie Howe, being the coach that he is, he should know he can get the best out of Bruno. And I do think that this is the way we're going to be going. It'll be for the director of football, with some input from the manager or the coach, that who will choose the players. Pep Guardiola doesn't pick the players he wants to buy. It's his director of football, and Pep Guardiola gets him to play. Same as anybody else now in the Premier League. You've got to have a coach who can coach. They're not managers anymore. They don't pick and choose the players they want. They have an input. They'd be expected to have an input, but it'd be up to people like Dan Ashworth.
But why is that? Why not the coach choosing the players?
Because it can be too. Because of the amount of money that's now going around. There's, and you think Kevin Keegan, when Kevin Keegan was in Newcastle, he was the manager the first time around, and he chose the players he wanted to buy. The second time around, he was getting players bought for him, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it that way.
Is that because? Why is it because? Maybe the players will stay, but the coach will leave.
Yeah, I think but what you've got to have a coach. You've got to have a coach or a coach who can say to the director of football, "This is the way I'm going to be playing my football. This is the way I'm going to be playing. This is the type of player I want. This is the type of player I need." And it's therefore up to then Dan Ashworth to bring in that player which the coach can actually use.
Same style of play like that, you mean?
Yeah, same style of player. So he may not get the exact player he wants, but he may get somebody better. But you've got to have a player who can. You've got to let the director of football be the person to get those players. Which is why Man City's had it so good, which is why Chelsea've had it so good. They never relied on a manager to pick their players. They had somebody who the manager would say, or the coach would say, "This is the type of player I want," and then go out and get him. Which it worked so well for like Arsenal. Arsene Wenger never picked these players. He had his players bought for him. Man United would probably be the exception to the rule. Alex Ferguson wouldn't have a director of football. He was the one that chose the players. But you can see the problems they're having at Man United now, because at Man United now, they brought in Ronaldo against the wishes of players like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was the coach. He didn't want Ronaldo there because Ronaldo's name was bigger than the club. And which then had problems. Solskjaer left, and now you've got the manager Rangnick, who doesn't like Ronaldo, who won't pick him, and Ronaldo.
It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And Pogba, I think they sold him. They bought him back. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's why.
So I understand. So now, I can understand this situation, because mostly the player, it's gonna be for the club for 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
In the contract, the coach can leave anytime.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's very hard. Not like the players who have more chance to stay. Makes sense. Yeah. Do you think Newcastle will play 4-4-2 formation, which suit Chris Wood to score? For me, I agree. Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
You like that? and I think
why he didn't do it yet?
Because I don't think Chris Wood's played like that for Burnley.
No, he played 4-4-2 with Vidra.
No, I think I think he was more of a lone striker. He was the guy up front who created a lot of stuff for Burnley.
I always see Vidra with him, striker.
Yeah. Wait. Look, if the 4-4-2 is going to work, and Eddie Howe's always worked with a 4-4-2.
Yeah, and I don't know why he didn't use it yet.
Yeah. So let's give it a go.
Maybe because he didn't have a great defense midfield.
Exactly. He didn't have a great team, so he had to play a 4-4-2. That's where we've got some better players, and he thinks he can probably get more out of some of the players that he's got. Yeah. And I think we've got more out of Joe Linton, and I think we're going to play Joe Linton and Bruno on Friday night.
Tom said Chris Wood hat-trick against Burnley.
Yes, last game of the season.
No, I want last game of the season just to celebrate. I don't want any relay on the game, really. We hope. Last question. What prediction for Friday night?
Prediction for Friday night. Like I said, I don't predict us getting beat. But like I said, I think Wolves will be the hardest game of the 3 home games. So I'm gonna stick my neck out and say a 0-0. I think it'll be a 0-0.
Yeah, and we are famous. And we last result or many of results against Wolverhampton, it's gonna be a draw. So Dave, last question for me. I want to ask you about Sam Vender, Barty, and Dan Byrne was there. Trippier was there. So my time in Newcastle, I look to have some parties. This is not happen every time, or there is a schedule of that, because I really would like to attend sometime.
Yeah, we don't have them very often. It's just because Sam Fender's he's doing a concert tour at the moment, and I think Holly's going to see him tonight.
He's a Geordie. He's a Newcastle fan.
Yes, big Newcastle fan. He was at the Strawberry on the 7th of October, when we had the takeover, and he was celebrating, and he had his saxophonist. They were playing tunes standing on the wall outside St James's Park, and we were all celebrating. And Sam Fender was celebrating as well. So brilliant. Sam's I'm not a fan of his music. He is quite good, but I'm not a fan. I don't follow Sam Fender's music.
Where was the party?
I don't know where the party was. If it's anywhere, if he's had a party, then it would have been at one of the posh pubs in Newcastle.
It's a big one.
I don't know where he had his party. I don't know where his party was at.
I said, but I showed my wife the videos today, and I said, "Look, it's a musical, and all flag of Newcastle team."
Yeah, because he is a big Newcastle fan. He was actually on the Friday morning after the takeover. He'd been celebrating all night on the Thursday night. He'd been celebrating with us lot at St James's Park and at the Strawberry. And he was drinking lots of Brunelli, and he was live on the TV on the Friday morning in London, and he was still drunk on the TV live. And he said, "You gotta forgive me. I've been celebrating all night. Newcastle's got a takeover and all this sort of stuff." And he was. It's actually his interview was actually on the telly. You have to, it's on YouTube. If I find it, I'll send it to you so you can see Sam Fender the morning after the takeover, and it was quite funny. But it was, he's just a daft Newcastle fan. He's a daft Newcastle fan.
Brilliant. Hopefully, I will attend someday. Dave, speaking of Newcastle fans. In Newcastle, when you say your friends and the people, they are optimistic about staying up.
Yes.
What's the word in the street?
Everybody seems to think, you know, that 1 or 2 more wins is enough for us to stay up. A lot of my friends, they've got season tickets. Well, they've got season tickets, and they think, you know, that the atmosphere has completely changed, and it's a much better. And they all seem to think that we've got a bet with Eddie Howe in charge, that we're not going to look back. We'll never look back again. We will always, you know, we're going to be there or thereabouts, challenging for titles and stuff like that. And like me, like you, especially like you, we will not be relegated.
Yeah, we are never going to be
get
relegated. Yeah. We would like
you'll be remembered for that for a long time. You'll be remembered for a long time. We will not get relegated.
Yes, happy for that, and I can't wait. Thank you, Dave, for joining us tonight for Dave and the Alwaleed show. We wish really happy results on Friday. طبعا we have another show in Arabic in after 50 minutes with our friend Dawood Al-Saleh from Kuwait. He's a big Newcastle fan. شكرا لكم للمتابعة وتصبحون على خير. Good night, Newcastle.